right? PA is Pennsylvania, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I am drinking Pinot Noir. Love it. Watching from Delaware, drinking ice water since I have to work tomorrow early morning.
Oh,
I do
man.
too. Work early in the morning too. I'm already like, ugh. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're an early to bed person, right?
And yes, early to
Yeah.
bed, usually 8. So, but that's okay. I was up later last night, every once in a while. Welcome. If you are joining us, feel free to share in the chat where you are viewing from this evening and what you are having to drink. I don't expect to see too many of my over the pond viewers tonight at this time. Hello, ladies. I'm in Boston and I'm sipping Chianti, a taste of Tuscany. Love it.
Oh, I love that. I love Tuscany.
Thank you for sharing. 10. I hope we have actually, I did see a couple people pop out. So I am going to jump on stories real quick. Jeez.
Lena-Marie, are you taking a selfie?
No, I was taking
looking at me, unfortunately. We are getting geared up for Wine Wednesday. I did see a couple people cancel their seats. So look at, really, Tracy. If anyone wants to try to get on, go over and head to the link and see if you can get a seat.
Lena-Marie, what is your drink of choice? I don't even know. I know it's white.
Yes. So I used to be an all like red girl.
Uh-oh.
Where did it go?
She went away.
What?
Hopefully she's coming back soon.
Oh, okay. Let me see here. I don't even show her in here. Welcome everyone that's joining us. Oh, only a couple more. Feel free to share in the chat where you are watching from and what you're drinking tonight.
Haley, thank you for posting. We've got some Alabama and Georgia viewers. I'm in Alabama right now, true Southerner. I'm visiting my family, normally in New York City, but super happy to be down south for the time being. Ooh, yeah. Miami, hello. Nice and warm.
I love it. As I was saying before, my 2015 MacBook computer decided to cut off. As we know, I don't know, like my MacBook randomly shuts off. So hopefully it doesn't do that tonight.
Seriously.
I will pop back on. So I am drinking my favorite, La Crema.
Oh, duh. We've talked about this.
Yes. Chardonnay. Love that one.
Yes.
La Crema.
So the only problem with Chardonnay is that I can drink this really fast. So
that's okay. Night to do that. Love it. I am just tagging you guys. You know, everything takes me a long time on my devices. Lena-Marie, I will share that my MacBook Air is much newer than yours, and I've been having problems all day with it. So, yeah. Ooh, we have someone from England. Wow, on YouTube. You're on YouTube. Oh, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Not too far from me, maybe 2 hours, 20 minutes, I'm guessing.
Oh, I love it.
Wow.
Greece. Yes. Oh, wow. How cool.
I even recognize a couple names. Hi, Donna. We even have a pencil coaching and consulting coach joining us tonight. Oh, and I recognize some of my clients. Love that you guys are here. Thank you. Feel free to share in the chat box where you're watching from and what you are drinking tonight. Chicago. There's Donna. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Donna.
Keep an eye on my time. Okay, we are 1 minute. I think we had said maybe at least around 30. Oh, hi. Cheryl, how are you? From Tampa, yes. Iowa, love it. More from Florida. Haley just shared. New Jersey and Canada are on YouTube. Thank you, YouTubers, for joining us. I love it. Moscow Mule, love Moscow Mules.
Yeah.
We are at 27. I hope we really have a full room tonight.
Oh, I would love that.
It's going to be
got
a lot of
dressed up
fun.
for you ladies. So, it's
Here's
Christine.
Christine. Hi, we have another HCC coach in the house. Love it.
Mhm. Hi.
We were, the four of us were poloing, Donna, Christine, Lena-Marie, and I before this, and they were giving us their very coachy, loving words of advice and wishing us good luck, which was super nice.
Oh, that's so nice. We have a
Yeah.
great team. We really
Yes.
have a great supportive team. I love it. Love it. Welcome. If you are joining us, so happy to have you. Please feel free to share in the chat box where you are viewing from and what you're drinking tonight. Try that Chardonnay for sure. Love it.
Oh, yes.
Portugal, New Zealand. Love this. Wow. Share what time it is there. 9 a.m. in Sydney. I love it. Coffee. Yeah.
Coffee with
Maybe
Bailey's.
I like rum chata in my coffee.
Oh.
Very good. So we are at 30, 34 with us. Maybe we'll give another minute.
Mhm.
People are joining. I know that some people have the 10-minute rule, but I don't want to hold up people too long. I need to scroll some names here, see who we have. Yeah, I am recognizing a few of you. Hi, Jennifer. Cheryl. Aloyma, yes. Oh, I'm so happy you guys are here. Wonderful. Highland and Huntington Beach, California.
That sounds awesome.
California is on my bucket list. We just celebrated our 28th wedding anniversary, and for our 30th, that's where I would like to go, is California. Maybe spend 3 weeks and see all of it. Well, I don't know how much I can see in 3 weeks, but yeah. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Wine Wednesday. Please feel free to share in the chat where you're watching from. Come to Tampa, Tracy and Paul. We would love to. Cheryl, we'd have a great time. You and I would have a great time. Georgia, love it. Yes, we definitely would. No question. I'd love it. I'd love it. Yeah, Haley gave me those. She put those on there. San Diego, California. Yes, come and visit soon. Would love to. Is there a gallery view? Who can answer that? Well, we don't have where we can see everyone. We don't have it set that way, correct? Well, there is a gallery view where you can see all of us, meaning the three of us. Yes.
Yes.
So it should be up at the top, I think, right-hand side for the gallery view. York, Pennsylvania. Okay. I would love the wineries. That's one of the reasons we want to go to California. Plus, my husband loves golf. He's looking forward to some Pebble Beach, and I will hit the vineyards. All right. Should we get started? What do you think? We're at 36 people, and it's 7:04.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Are you guys sure? Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight for Wine Wednesday. So happy to have you here. You all know who I am, Tracy Hensel. Don't really need to introduce myself, but I do want to introduce you to Ashley Ellich if you have not met her yet, and Lena-Marie Gilbert. They are both certified professional coaches of Hensel Coaching and Consulting. Tonight, we are going to be hearing all about the Single Girls Kit. This is Ashley and Lena-Marie's 6-week program designed for you, and they're going to share all of the details on it. I'm not going to be sharing them. I will let them do that. But a couple of things that I do want to share. Oh, and let me just chime in that you can't see the person that sails this ship, this ship of Hensel Coaching and Consulting. Haley, my business manager, is behind the scenes. She just isn't showing her face, but I always have to recognize her because we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for all that she does, because I wouldn't know what I'm doing when it comes to this part. But a couple things that I do want to share, stay tuned. There's 2 irresistible offers for all of you to take advantage of. Irresistible offer number 1 is 4 free coaching sessions with Ashley or Lena-Marie if you purchase the Single Girls Kit, and they will go into more details at the end. But as another bonus for those of you that do hone in on the Single Girls Kit, I am offering complimentary for those of you that purchase a course on how to present yourself and style yourself for that first date. That is going to be in week 7. So there's 6 weeks of the course, and we're going to follow up with that, but we'll go into more details later. So a couple really great offers that I don't think you're going to want to miss out on. So let's move on. Ashley, without further ado, you have lots to share. So we are going to start with Ashley Ellich sharing her journey with us.
Yeah, thank you, Tracy. I'm so excited to be here. Lena-Marie and I have been working on the Single Girls Kit for, since March, for a long time. I mean, that's when it was born. It's been our baby. We're so excited to bring it to the world. And, my story is that, frankly, the reason I'm a life coach, the reason I really focus on dating and love is because when I started my life coaching journey, I thought, what do I wish I had, 10, 15 years ago? And it's the Single Girls Kit. It is life coaches propping me up and guiding me and supporting me. And, when I was dating in my 20s and early 30s, for a long time, I actually thought that I didn't want to get married. I thought that's not for me. And actually, it was because I didn't have the self-confidence. I didn't think I was worthy of an amazing marriage. And through a lot of inner work, a lot of different kinds of relationships, both with men and friends, I gained the confidence and figured out what in the world I want in this life and in a partner. And that's what we talk about a lot in the Single Girls Kit, is honing in on what you want and then believing that he's out there and believing that you deserve to get that love. I was messing around with all kinds of, I won't cuss here, but boys that did not deserve my time. I'll tell you that much. And once I did the inner work and began to feel really good about myself and believed that I deserved an amazing man, I met one. And we've been together for a little over 3 years, and we just got engaged earlier this year, a couple of months ago. And he's amazing. The reason I found him, I fully believe, is all the work that I did on myself and holding myself and the men I date to really high expectations. And so that is what we're teaching and supporting women through these changes in the 6-week course. So, yeah.
Love it. Thank you for sharing. Love how you shared that what really made the big difference was doing the inner work on yourself. And one of the things I want to chime in is there's no mistakes. So there should never be this element of looking back at some of the people that you did date, because there's always an opportunity to learn something. And often that is how we identify what we are looking for in a partner.
Yes.
It's the people we dated that we saw red flags and we're like, that's really not going to work for me. That is not going to serve me. And always being able to look ahead. Is this where I want to be in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 2 children in? Loved what you shared, Ashley. Thank you so much.
And, Lena-Marie and I, one of the weeks we talk about getting out there and failing, practicing, and like having the confidence to go on a date and be okay if it doesn't go well, be okay if he's not the one. So thank you.
Love that.
Lena-Marie, take it away.
Yeah, go for it, girl.
Well, I was actually writing down, something came to me: embrace who you are. And that is exactly what, like, my story, like a little bit about me. And some of you guys know, I'm in my late 20s. I feel like I've gone from relationship to relationship to relationship, mainly because I didn't want to be alone, right? I had some gremlin messages that I'm still working through. It's always it's a process. But what led me onto my journey when I finally said, like, no more, is when I had to move out of my ex-boyfriend's house, right? I remember calling up my mom on a Monday and being like, I can't do this anymore. I can't be with this person anymore. And I threw everything in garbage bags, and my mom was there within an hour. I went into the car, and we drove back to the Bronx. So I'm living at home in the Bronx, quarantining with my mom and my cat, which we won't even go into. But this past year, and I mean, you ladies have seen my ups and downs with that, and my struggles with defining who I want to be and who is Lena-Marie. Because I had struggles about my self-worth and who I was without a man, right? Every time when I was out with someone, it was like, okay, it's me and my man. It was never just me. It was never Lena-Marie. And it took me to go home 3 weeks on my couch drinking red wine. I think that's probably why I switched to white wine, because I think it brings back memories of that time. When I was over drinking, I was using like alcohol and food to like deal with my emotions, deal with my feelings. And I'm getting deep here, guys. And this is what we're doing in the Single Girls Kit. I mean, we're getting raw. Yeah, I struggled with that. I struggled with being with myself. And that's why we created the Single Girls Kit, right? It's about creating the woman you get to choose to be. And that's what my journey has been when I entered 2020, right? I was like, I want to create the woman I get to choose to be, because I felt like my entire life was about what my man wanted, what my man wanted me to be, right? He wanted me to look a certain way. He wanted me to act a certain way. He wanted me to kind of die down, like not embrace like my greatness, right? Everything I said, it was like, well, you're being too much. You need to settle down. That's not who I am. I'm a very passionate person. So that's what my journey has been with my singlehood. I'm embracing being me and creating that woman I get to be. It's fun. I've made it fun. So that's why we created the Single Girls Kit, because you can date without the drama. It can be fun. And now that we are moving out of quarantine, I mean, the world is reopening, right? I went on a date, and we'll talk. I'll share some things about my date with Quarantine Bae this past Monday. But I went on a date for the first time in like 5 months. So people are dating. People are people are getting more comfortable, with going out, and people crave human connection, right? I know I needed a hug. I mean, I was wearing my mask and my gloves, of course, yeah, but I crave just that touch from anyone right now.
That's normal. Yeah. That's natural and normal.
Right. Yes. So that's what we want to tell you guys, and help you remember that summer is not canceled. I mean, actually, I was like, you are so right, girl. So yeah. So why the single girls kit? Because you can do it. You can date without the drama, and you can find a man who is attainable, right? I had a discussion about expectations with someone the other day, right? About how he told me I was asking for too much.
Oh yeah.
I was
I
asking.
have a post coming out about that later this week. No.
Yeah. So we are talking about in the single girls kit, it's like, you are not asking for too much.
Hey, Lena-Marie,
that's what I would have said. Define much. I'd like to hear that. That's what I would have proposed to him.
Yeah. I mean, I at first, you know, right.
I mean, he obviously can't meet it, right? That's why he said that.
Yes, that's why, because he could not meet it.
Yeah. But that reminds me. So, and I know we're going to do Q&A later for sure, but this question came in and it's like reminding me of kind of what you're talking about. Okay, how old are we? I'm 37. Lena-Marie, you're 29, right?
I'm 29, yes.
And no, there are no age limits in what you can find. You can find what you're looking for at any age in any location. And I remember, so I'm from Alabama, and I remember I lived in San Francisco and now I live in New York. And when I couldn't find a man, I would like blame it on something, like the place I was, for example. And I would think, well, I can't go back to Alabama. I'm never going to find a man there because it's just a smaller place. That's a limiting belief. That is something that you're telling yourself, instead of telling yourself like the real challenge that you have, or instead of going deeper, or it's something that like society has told you, right? And that's something we're talking about too.
Right.
Oh, Roll Tide, hello. That's something we're talking about too, is like, what has society told us about dating? And what about that do we want to throw out the window and create our own beliefs, right? Because he is attainable. Absolutely, he is attainable.
Right? Creating our own rules, right? I'm a big believer of creating rules and then I break the rules.
You do that.
I
do that.
I break the rules a lot. Yeah, and that's what I think we're doing this like the week one. We are right off the back. We're going for, you know, what are our old beliefs and what are our new beliefs? What are we creating for ourselves as the women today, right? In the present, not the woman from 5 years ago, right? That's over. The past is gone. Now we're only talking about the present and the future.
Yeah.
So yeah. And everything that we are like walking these women through, like at the end of 6 weeks, you feel like men are chasing you, because high caliber women don't chase men, they chase us. And then I remember distinctly when I was finally feeling good about myself, knowing what I wanted, I was dating better men, and I hadn't found the one yet, but I knew I was getting closer because they were all better. And that's when I found Chris. Like, I chose Chris. I was dating a few really good men. I chose him because like I did all the work to be able to be in that position, and we can all be in that position. So yeah.
Oh,
right.
I love that. I love your story. And I mean, I used to think that I was going to get married by 25 and have 3 kids by 30. So none of that happened. I have no kids. I have never been married, and that's okay. Right? That is totally okay. And that's what I've been working on, and what we're going to cover in Single Girls Kit is what does self-love really mean? Right? You talked about chasing or not chasing men, right? What does that even look like? We're going over that in all the weeks, really. Like, how to know when you are chasing a man, right? If you feel like usually women, we have our intuition, and sometimes we ignore that intuition, right? So if you're calling him and you're texting him and you're initiating text and you feel like you're doing a little much, you're probably chasing him. I've been guilty of that.
Yeah. I used to, oh my God, I used to do
Yeah.
that. Terrible. Or like answer their text way too late at night. And like it was all because it was like I was chasing them, and or I would like text something just to like try to get a response, just to get attention. And
Yeah.
so I had to like learn that I don't need, when I love myself, I don't need negative attention from anyone, regardless if it's a guy or someone else. And a question just came through. My friends say I'm single because I'm too picky. There's no such thing as too picky.
No.
Right? Tracy's like, let me in on.
I've just been burning over here because
Yeah, go. Interrupt us.
and I'm just going to chime in. I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but I think the way we have things set up is only us panelists can see what's in the chat. But if you have questions, put them in the Q&A. I just didn't want to jump the gun and have all of you watching put questions in too early, because you never know when your questions are going to be answered just by us sharing. But if someone were to tell me I'm too picky, here's what's funny about me. Most words that would be an insult to someone are a compliment to me. If someone told me I'm too picky, yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it would make sense that I would be. Because if I view myself as a high caliber and quality person, if you want to label it as picky, be my guest. But I do not take that as a negative.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I do not take. So a lot of things that people get tripped up by and take as negatives are actually positives. That would be a compliment that I'm too picky, because it shows where my standards are. It shows you that I'm a valuable person and I'm worthy for the right man, and he's going to treat me well, just like I'm going to treat him. So
I feel that.
I was burning.
Well, and the other part of the question was like, where does this person go to meet men? And so I think the way I really want to answer this, and like Tracy and Lena-Marie, jump in behind me if you feel different or have something else. But part of the work of the Single Girls Kit is the law of attraction. And the law of attraction is energy. Energy likes equal energy. Energy attracts like energy. Yeah. So perfect. If you embody the person that you want to meet, if you want to meet a loving, caring person who puts you number one, then you be that person. You be a loving, caring person who puts you at number one. Mm-hmm. And then you don't have to go, oh, I need to go to this bar because they're showing a football game and there's going to be a lot of men there. You don't have to do that. You live your awesome life, mm-hmm. and they will show up.
Yes.
Right.
Guaranteed. Yes. Guaranteed. It's when you were talking, I was like, that's freedom, right? The freedom to be, right? We talk a lot in the Single Girls Kit, being versus doing. What does that mean, right? Being, like, once you start showing up truly connected to yourself, to the real you, right? To the real Ashley, to the real Lena-Marie, right? You show up as your awesomeness, right? You show up truly yourself with him.
That right? Radiates to the world. Like that, it just totally does. And that's why in week 1, we are having you write down your, I did this to find my man, your must-have list, your nice-to-have list, your red flag list. And honestly, ladies, I hand wrote it and I kept it in a drawer and I looked at it so often. I knew that list and I knew what everything on that list meant to me. And those must-haves, I embodied those must-haves.
Yes.
I wanted someone who was great to his family and, great to people around him. And I became that person. So yeah.
I love you sharing that. I think right there is just a great message. Sometimes it's even helping someone, and through one-on-one coaching, these coaches can help you identify what some of those words are.
Yes.
Because sometimes we don't know. And I shared on this recently on my Instagram stories. you have to think about all the areas that just, you have to know what's not going to serve you. A perfect example is family. So to me, if I felt there was any indication that there was animosity in the family, I already know that won't work for me. I'm a very family oriented, grounded person. Family is so important. And it sounds like, Ashley, it was for you as well. If that is really important to you, you can find those things out so early on. There are cues and there's ways for you to navigate that very early, because that could be a real red flag. Because think again, 3 years, 5 years,
Yes.
2 kids in, the power struggle. You have to identify if that's going to work for you.
Right. Oh my gosh. So my ex, one of the reasons why we broke up, is I'm a Christian. I mean, I talk a lot about that. That faith is so important to me. I didn't realize how important it was to me until my late 20s. And until I started creating the woman that I want to be. And my ex, he's not Christian. And that ended up being a huge issue towards the end of the 4.5 years. But going into it, I was like, oh, well, it's not a big deal. It's not, it's not a big deal. I ignored.
Not today.
Yes. Oh, today it's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Today it is in my must-haves. It's in my top 5. You have to. I prefer to be with someone who's Christian, and someone that wants children. That was another thing. He didn't want children.
Wow.
He didn't.
There's nothing to apologize for what we need. So if it's important for Lena-Marie to meet someone and he's Christian, no apologies, no having to explain. Because again, maybe like she shared, that will work for her. Oh, it's not a big deal. Oh, it'll be fine. Okay, let's go 3 years in. Let's go 2 kids in.
Oh gosh.
How is it going to work now? You're going to go to church on Sundays with the kids and he's not going to be there. Your kids are going to be involved in youth groups, but he's not involved. These are things you have to think about.
Right, right. And now I'm dating someone who wants to pray with me every single night.
Yeah.
Exactly what I wanted. so that's what we're doing.
Because like attracts like. And when you confidently, when you quit buffering and suppressing and trying too hard to mold to what you thought someone wanted, instead of being off and choosing to be authentically you, what did you attract? You attracted exactly what you are.
Yes.
It'll always show up. It'll always show up. Be who you are and hold your standards to who you are. It's going to show up. He will show up. Yeah.
That's why they say there doesn't have to be any drama about it.
No.
Just be your best self and he'll come. I mean, it feels so silly to even say it, but it is that simple. But that's what we have distilled down into 6 weeks. And you don't have to apologize for what you want. And you can have, and there's also, and I remember I had a lot of challenges with this in dating. I had challenges walking away when I knew someone wasn't the right person, because I was like, oh God, he looks good on paper, so I should like him. Or I would say, I'm not going to meet another guy, even though he doesn't fit this one area. He's good enough. I'm just not going to meet anyone else. And I would just get on myself about that. And that felt so needy and desperate. And that's what I was putting out there. So that's why I was drawing those guys in. But after these 6 weeks, you won't feel needy or desperate, and you won't be like, you'll also know that you're great. And being alone while you're searching for the one, knowing he'll come, that's okay. That's going to be an okay feeling for you. You don't have to feel badly about that.
Right. And you probably won't be single anymore.
Yeah, that's another thing. I know, that's another thing.
I'm putting it out there.
I love what you shared, Ashley, because you were settling, which we all know that there was a little bit of the level 3 disadvantage, kind of tolerating, sweeping it under the rug. Yeah. That's what happens a lot of times. I'm sure a lot of you viewing are shaking your head. How many times have you settled because the unknown of is something better out there? So I will just settle because, well, I mean, he's good at, he's good at that. Oh, and he does this. Guess what? That's settling. You have to ask yourself, is what you're settling for serving you? Yeah.
Oh, I am so excited for
I love this.
start
I love this
of
program you guys are
week.
doing.
Yes. All right, Tracy, I am ready to hear your top 10 tips.
The top 10 Tracy tips. And I'm excited to hear some relationship coaches weighing in on
Oh,
this.
we're going to weigh in.
Yes, we are.
Pippi. I don't even think she knew what was going on. I did not even share with the family. Okay, I am going to share 10 tips. Now, boy, I got married young, and it did work out for me. It did work out for me. I married a great guy, 5 beautiful children. That's a whole new, navigating a 28-year marriage is a whole new topic. But I will share with you, I could only wish that I was the person that I am today back when I was dating, because I didn't have the confidence in myself that I do today. So when I share these 10 tips, I'm not gonna tell you that I applied to them when I was 20. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you that. I like to be very real and transparent. I would encourage someone, definitely, even if you're 20, to follow these tips and not be what I was at 20. But I will say I got very fortunate. It all worked out for me. But I had a lot of growing up to do, and so did my husband. We were young. But if I had to be out on the market today, as some of you are divorced, and you would like to meet someone more for companionship than anything, and it makes complete sense because we have that desire to have a companion. These are what I would implement today. I may never get a date, but you know what? I would rather be happy with myself than be unhappy with someone that does not serve me. So I'm going to share the 10 tips, and Ashley and Lena-Marie are going to weigh in because they are in a different place, and they may tell me, Tracy, no, no, yeah, you'd be single forever. But I take what you can, what serves you, what doesn't, just disregard, because some of these standards are very high, but that is how I see myself today. And I'm thankful for the 28 years of being married to really know that if I didn't have my husband tomorrow because of some unfortunate circumstance, this is what it would take for me to find love again. And it's going to be high caliber, and it's going to be quality, and no shame in that. All right.
Yes.
Tip number 1, know and define what your negotiables and non-negotiables are. Make a promise to yourself that you will not settle or sway from the boundaries that you have placed on yourself. Here's an example. If you were, let's say, 25, and you're like, I'm young, and I don't want to be in a relationship with a gentleman that has been married before and has children. Okay. I just don't want to be part of that. You do get to choose that. You get to choose that, and don't apologize for it. This goes back to what Ashley shared, and she's going to be covering it in the Single Girls 6-week program. Know what you're willing to bend on and what you're not, and stay severely convicted to that. Don't do what Lena-Marie was sharing that she initially did and then decided no more. Kind of, and even Ashley was sharing. I think we've all been there where, I'll let this slide. No, you don't have to do that. And when you see your worth and value, you won't. Right. You won't. Know the negotiables, know the non-negotiables. I shared the other day, no pun intended for anyone who smokes cigarettes, but I just know for me, it just wouldn't work. I just know it wouldn't. Okay. And someone can judge me a certain way. That's okay. I'm not worried about that. That would be a deal breaker for me. Him being a Christian, if he's not a Christian, it's a deal breaker. Okay. I would never even get to that first date. All right, that will not happen. If I sense he can't control his alcohol, nope. Because if you can't, well, we'll get into that. It's coming up.
I was like,
Who wants to weigh in?
I know.
ooh.
This is exactly what we're talking about week 1. Know what you want and accept nothing less. This is where we actually in week 1, we have a lot of stuff like how to figure out the must-haves and the want-to-haves and the red flags. And then later we get into how to not apologize for that. Like you were saying, accept nothing less and move on. Yeah.
Keep it moving. We're
Yeah.
not apologizing anymore.
Love it. Love it. So am I going on to number 2?
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
This is great. I should have saved this one till the end. These are in no particular order, by the way. If he sends you any messages of any sort pertaining to sex or body parts, yeah, it is 100% unacceptable. Again, high integrity seeks high integrity. Oh, okay, just a minute. If you are a high caliber lady seeking a high caliber man, you are above this type of behavior. Who remembers in high school being above the influence or whatever they were? You are above this. I'm not saying you're better as a human being.
Yeah.
We're not doing, it's not, no judgment. I'm saying you are better in this area. And I even put end of discussion because, okay, one of my clients many years ago that I did health and wellness coaching for, and I also personal trained her. She trained with me 3 days a week at 6 a.m. Luckily, she was only a couple miles away. She was on dating sites, apps, whatever they are. Divorced woman, probably a couple years younger than me. She would talk for a couple days with someone she met on these apps. And I would go to train her on a morning that she was getting ready to go out with someone she met. And she'd say, Tracy, yep, we were supposed to go out tonight and look what he sent me. And it would be, men aren't watching, but I don't know what they're thinking, but no, because that is not high integrity and that's not quality. So that's a red flag. That's just a red flag. And if you are going out with that, may I ask you how you see yourself? Because to me, that's a sure sign of low self-esteem. That's a sure sign of not seeing value in yourself and not seeing worth. And a lot of one-on-one coaching really may be something to look into, because that does say something about what's going on with you in your core, if you would be open to that. I know this is hard. It's tough love. Coaching can be at times, but that is 100% unacceptable. And even talking about sex in the form of, that's the purpose. Because if he's this way with you, he's this way with everyone. So what does that tell you?
Yes.
What type of picture are you painting? I mean, this is painting a picture.
Yeah, it totally is. And that we are looking for quality men, you know, who may become our husband or however your partner, husband, whatever you want, your partner long-term. That man is not looking for long-term. He's not. He's just looking for pictures. So move on. Right.
And guess what? Your body is worth waiting for.
Ooh,
Yeah. Because it's a temple. And if you respect your body, you know that it's worth waiting until you know that there is a convicted and a relationship that's very solid. So if you're just giving it out freely, I mean, ask yourself what's going on in my core that I need to work on.
Right.
And again, if this has happened, don't look in the past. This isn't about the past. If you've been there, I mean, we've all had trip ups in our life that we've had to learn from. No mistakes. They're only opportunities to learn. Boy, wow, can't believe I just did that. But I'm going to take the lesson and I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to move forward, because that's not going to happen again.
Right. And so in week 5, we go really deep with that. We talk about chemistry versus compatibility and like what exactly does that mean? Right? Like your head versus your heart versus your vagina, like
Yeah.
And how to not ignore the red flags.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? How to not ignore, right? So, right, he'll never, and if he's sending you pictures of himself, that's him. Don't assume that he will magically change because you came into his life.
Mm.
I would love to have I would love to have a course for guys. Now, I am not I do not like when I hear people bash men. Okay, because I don't think anyone should be bashed. I think there's beautiful people out there that suit us, whether it's if women, men will bash women, women will bash men. I just don't like that. But I do feel that I actually believe a lot of men have the right intentions sometimes. I think they are thinking that's what we want. So it's also important for you to make sure you're sending the signal.
Yes.
This is not who I am. I'm a lady of high integrity. Okay. I'd be shocked if someone sent me a picture, because I believe I would have planted that seed where he'd be like, I don't think she's going to be open to seeing this thing.
Right.
Right.
That's again part of your energy, which we're talking about in week 2. Yeah. It's just that is, you embody a woman who would not accept that. And you're right. They do, like, those men aren't attracted to you, right? They're attracted to the women who they think they can get that from.
Yeah. Love it. I love the whole outline for week 2.
Yeah.
That's a powerful week. I have certain weeks that I'm like, this is me. Can I join? Can I get in free? Yeah, I love the outline for week 2. I want to share real quick. We have a viewer that says, I'm literally writing notes like a crazy person. Such great information. That settling was me. Eye opener. We all can relate. How many of us, I mean, we've all can, I don't know if we can do, oh no, we don't have the hand. We can all relate that we've settled before. Yeah, but you don't have to. You have all the power. Okay, moving on to number 3, and can't wait for you guys to weigh in. Watch how much he drinks and how fast he pounds the drinks. This is a big indicator of whether he controls his alcohol. If he can't control his alcohol, what else can't he control? Money, temper, and I could go on and on. This is a big one, and this one hits home for me a lot. So I know moving forward, if I ever had to, I'm not saying that he couldn't drink. Okay, so I am negotiating. He can drink because I enjoy my alcohol.
Oh, yes.
What I'm not willing to negotiate on is his relationship with alcohol. And this one hits home for me because I've lived some of this. And again, no mistakes, only opportunities to learn. I'm very fortunate that I no longer have to worry about that, but I can tell you that it can be a really dark road to travel if you are dealing with that. So again, in the moment, when I go back to my 20-year-old self, woo, yeehaw, yeah, woo, let's bring it. But you bring a few kids into the mix, that's not so pretty anymore, okay? That's not so pretty. So you really have to think about it. And again, the signs are there. If you're out on that first date and we're an hour in and he's 3 beers in, well, guess what? I'm just going to say it. Judge it how you want, but there won't be a second date. There won't be. But that's a wound for me. So also identify your wounds, because we all have them. We've all been hurt. We all have a wound. Well, if it's a wound, it's a sore spot. If you accept it a second time around, That wound only has a Band-Aid on it. You take that Band-Aid off, that wound is still there. So be very clear, going back to number one, be very clear of what is a negotiable and a non-negotiable and what your boundaries are. And that's in week what? Again.
1.
Love it. You are my girls.
Lena-Marie, I want you to take this
I'm
one.
having a hard time not showing. I think I can probably, I can sneak in. What would they call that? I'll sneak in on the single girls.
Like our stowaway.
Who is that chiming in?
Right. Well,
No.
yeah.
Wait.
I just want to reiterate, like, if this is a non-negotiable for you, you know, being in a single girls kit, like, you will have the confidence to just walk away, right? Let him show you who he is.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about. Week 1, right? Just a quick little story for me. I had my first date with Quarantine Bay. I mean, a lot of you have heard about Quarantine Bay. I've been dating him virtually for the past 2 months. And so I've been allowing him to show himself, show me who you are, right? I'm just being me. I'm being, he is doing, right? And so he showed me some things on our first official date that,
What type of things?
ooh,
Hey,
not tip number 2. Wait, no.
it's Wine Wednesday after all. You have to have some levity here.
Oh gosh.
Sorry
No,
about that.
no. Money. He showed me he had some limiting beliefs about money.
Listen to us. The coaches all go,
Yeah.
So beliefs about money and paying for dates and what that looks like on dates, that I thought that was a lot for a first date. I'm hearing things that I didn't expect to hear on a very first date, given we've been talking for 2 months. But on the first official date, we talked a lot about money. So I realized that was something that has been on his mind, and I've sensed it. So I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention to it. It's not a non-negotiable for me, but I am paying attention.
Yeah.
And I love that you shared that, because again, I always say the future. And a lot of the reason I do this, as you know, I have 5 daughters and 4 of them are adults. Now, 2 of them are engaged, but one of the things that their father and I always say is, it's not about right now what's going on. It's, you have to look at 2 kids in. You have to look at 10 years.
Yes.
If you were going through a crisis, is the person you're with someone you'd want to go through trauma or a crisis with? Very, very important. Something to think about. It's something that we've shared with our kids. Could you go through a crisis with this person? How would they show up? Yeah. Lena-Marie, I loved the awareness that you just shared. You know, bringing awareness to that relationship, cluing in, tuning in, listening. Yes. Boy, intuitive listening, which is, we know what intuitive listening is to a T. As coaches, we're trained to intuitively listen, to hear something that a client didn't really recognize they were saying, but they were. Yes. And we go in and challenge that. When you go out on that first date, really tune into intuitive listening, because you're going to pick up on things that you may end up wanting to challenge later, or you may just know this isn't going to be in my wheelhouse because it's a non-negotiable. Yeah. This is great too. Now I'm going to share this number 4 only because I think this is probably more prominent with the divorced men in my age bracket. Okay. So husband and wife divorce after 10, 15, 20 years of marriage. lots of wounds, lots of wounds. That's trauma for anyone. I think men, and this is a perception, I apologize for any men that take it the wrong way, but I believe their wounds run deeper in a different way than women's. I think women tend to think about the family and the kids. I'm not saying you dads don't, but I do think that going through a divorce at this stage of the game, all women can think about is the well-being of their children and getting their footings together. But their kids are number one. I think sometimes men have a tendency to feel the need to get into another relationship because they have their wounds were wired different. No one can deny that. And they need to know that someone sees them as attractive, someone is attracted to them. I just think it's a little bit different context maybe, and not for everyone, but that's just what I feel I've seen out there. So what often happens is men are trying so hard, almost too hard, like Lena-Marie was sharing, trying to mold what you think someone wants instead of being who you are. They're trying so hard that they're actually selling themselves short. Okay. Yeah. Going into tip number 4. Watch how much he talks about himself. A good conversationalist will ask questions about you versus trying to sell himself. Be an intuitive listener. If he's a real catch, he will be interested in you and ask questions about you, but be very sure to bounce back the same respect. It's that ebb and flow, yin and yang. So an example would be, you're out on a date. Let's say you did meet online. You're out on that first date, and he's going on and on about how successful he is in his career and how I got this promotion, I sold this car, I did this, I did that, da 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 da. If men only knew that they are actually, they're not selling themselves, they're selling themselves short. Because if you look like you're all about yourself, that's a red, well, for me, that's a red flag. Can't wait for the other coaches to weigh in. To me, if he says, tell me about your family. What do you do? I know you own a business. What exactly do you do? What do you enjoy to do when you're not working? What type of things? What type of food do you like? You know, what type of wine do you drink? What's your favorite season? And if you travel, do you like the beach or do you like to go to towns, cities? What do you like to do? Because that gets the conversation going, and that's a good conversationalist. And guess what we're always going to do? We're going to say, well, I'm not really a beach person. I love cities, but I also love quaint, charming towns. I love to order a great cheese board, have some great wine. I love to just talk, and I love to be with my family. What about you? What do you enjoy to do? That's that real yin yang ebb and flow. That's what, well, I say that's what you want. That's what I want. If he's too much about himself, unfortunately, there's not going to be a second date. I'm just going to have to share. Yeah. All right. Weigh in. Weigh in.
This hits on weeks 4 and 5 in the kit. We talk about communication. We talk about values and boundaries and how to hold those boundaries and how to spot a false connection. And then we talk a lot about intuition, right, Lena-Marie? Like, I feel like a lot of people don't understand their intuition, like how to pick it out, how to listen to it, right? And we talk a lot about that.
Yes. It's paying attention to that feeling. Right? Some women get it in their stomach, in their hearts, and I don't know, like in their thighs. I don't know where you get it, but you know where it is.
Fine Wednesday.
Nice.
Nice. I love it. I love it. No, love it.
You know where it is, and we're teaching you how to listen to that. That is your intuition. That is your level 6 energy. Yeah. You guys are familiar a little bit about the levels of energy.
Well, and I love that you're incorporating them because it does make such a difference. It really does. Yeah. Now, don't forget that if you purchase the Single Girls Kit tonight,
Yeah.
and you put in code SINGLE100, you get $100 off this course. And then don't forget, we have some irresistible offers that I mentioned at the beginning, and we will be talking about them again soon. But the irresistible offers equal the whole amount of the course. That's what's crazy. So,
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is. And we just, we love this group of women. We wanted to offer something to help you guys just in between the 6 weeks and really like focus and get you out there, because we really believe like summer still equals fun, guys. All right. I'm ready for, I need more wine, and I'm ready for tip number 5.
I love tip
remember,
five.
anything that you say yes to, you're saying no to something else, and vice
Mhm.
versa. So don't be saying no to your summer. If you want to meet someone, don't let what is going on in this world detract you from what your goals are. That's only an excuse. Tip number 5.
Yes.
If he speaks ill of any ex relationships, marriage, etc., past online dating, people he's met, anything like that, this says a lot about him. And I'm sorry, red flag. Weigh in.
Yes.
Weigh in.
Yes. I mean, I had that story last year with someone that I dated for the summer, and he would talk ill of his ex-girlfriend all the time. And I was like, dang, like, you were with her on and off for 2 years. Like, she was that terrible, but he was so insecure.
Yeah, exactly. That's about him, not about you.
Yep. Exactly.
Right. And he portrayed himself as a victim.
Yeah. And often that's what it is. So, and that's level 1 energy. So very catabolic, which means that they want to avoid, disengage, withdraw. They feel powerless. Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to watch for those signs. Do you want a confident man, or do you want someone who plays the victim all the time?
Confident.
One of the biggest mistakes that I really feel that, I mean, just like if we were sitting with a panel of men sharing with us what they're really looking for, I really think sometimes women need to be teaching the men, and vice versa, because all the time, I mean, this is not uncommon. They have a bad experience and they want to play the victim, because often they're looking for that sympathy, but it also shows a lot about them. Yeah. All right. Number 6, and what's so funny is, if anyone watched me on Instagram stories today and I talked about pulling weeds and planting seeds, if you have too many weeds in the field or the garden, you can plant seeds all day long, but they're never going to sprout, even if you give them water, because the weeds will be in the way. So number 6, plant seeds. Ask lead-in questions to encourage him to share. And I want to expand just for a moment. So if you know and have defined your negotiables or non-negotiables, and Ashley, you framed them as what in week 1?
The must have, want to have, red flag.
Love it. Love it. So if you have those solid and concrete, your lead-in questions can kind of pertain to this, because why have a second date if the first date shows up red flags, right? Yep. Why bother? Time is valuable, and your time is valuable, and so are you. So ask leading questions to encourage him to share. Ask about his family, again, because we'll find out if there's some drama in it. His job. If you're looking for someone who's successful in their career, if that's important to you, no apologies. It would be for me, no apologies. Then you're going to find out some information. How long have you been there? Oh, do you travel? Lots of things can be shared there. Job interest. What's his interest? Maybe it's really important to you that he's adventurous. He likes to do a lot of outdoorsy things. Maybe he works out. If that is something that's important to you, your lead-in questions will show up by how he responds. And again, listen for the red flags. If he speaks ill of family members, you know how his relationships are. Bosses, If he's talking down his boss, who else is he talking down? Coworkers. If he expresses any dysfunction and drama, and that's not something you're willing to negotiate on, it wouldn't be for me, but everyone is different, then those are red flags. And that may indicate that, thank you for the evening. I had a great time.
Bye.
Give him dad's number. That's what we used to always tell our girls. If you meet a guy and he asks for your number and you feel awkward, just give him dad's number.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, one time
I used to just like change one number at the end. Like, yeah.
One time my husband received a text message that said, "Hi, Haley." And my husband was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I met you the other night."
Oh, that's so funny. That's awesome. I love that. Wow.
Because she didn't want her number out.
Yeah, good for her. Yeah, we talk about like those red flags, and it's one thing to notice the red flag.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing to have the confidence to walk away and not settle.
Yes.
And that's what we really hone in on.
Yeah, love that.
Right. Yes. Week number 2 is all about self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And what does self-confidence even mean?
Yeah.
It's about how do you want to show up? So we have like a whole, it's going to be a really fun week. Week 2 is like, I guess it's my favorite because it's like,
me too.
It's really fun.
You guys are talking about settling too. So like you said, Ashley, it's one thing to see those red flags, but it's another thing to be able to walk away. So even in week 2, when you guys are talking about, you don't have to settle for this, because when you see the red flag, like you guys share in week 2, oh, well, but he had this going for him and he had that going for him.
Heard it so many times. Yeah, did it myself. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I love the week 2. Love it. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Do not offer to pay. I know some of you are not. I can't wait to because I'm older, so I am old school. I'm old fashioned, so I can't wait to hear what the younger coaches have to say. But do not offer to pay. It is his responsibility, and if he hints at all that he expects you to pay for your portion, I actually put run. I'm gonna share something though. I shared this one time, I think on Instagram stories or maybe in a YouTube video, and I received a really great question back.
Mm-hmm.
Someone had asked me, what if you are going to an all-day event? Which I don't know. Okay, I don't know that I would take the offer on a whole day event on a first date.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm too tied in.
Agree.
Yes.
Let's just say you went out. Yeah. It's okay. Love that. Love the support. Let's just say you have went out 2-3 times and it's went really well. And then he invites you to an all-day outing. And it's going to be expensive. We know tickets to get in can be expensive. If we are having adult beverages, it's expensive, whatever. I feel like there's a little window there, and I can't wait to hear the ladies weigh in. I would say myself, if we were having drinks throughout the day and you had to go up and pay, I would say that just knowing who I am, I would say, go ahead, hit the bathroom. I'll be right. I'm going to get us a couple of drinks, and I would get drinks for us. So I do think there's a window, but I'm not talking about that first day meeting for dinner, nothing like that. This would be a few dates in, and it would be something that clearly is going to be several $100s of a day because you're at an all-day event. Love to hear. Love to know.
I'm going to let Lena-Marie take it, but I want to tell you, when we were like looking over your rules, we went off on this one because we love it. We were like, yes, girl.
Yes.
Chivalry is not dead. Okay?
Yeah.
It is not.
I mean, I'm old school, but
no,
go, Lena-Marie, go.
I do not pay for the first couple of dates. And with the Single Girls Kit, we're focusing a lot on weeks, dates 1, 2, and 3, right? And I'm a firm believer, okay? I do not pay, right? When you're especially when you are asking me out on a date, that is
I
insane.
assume you're taking me to a restaurant that like you can
Yes.
pay for.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Right. And going off of the all day event thing, date, we don't recommend that on a first date. No, we don't recommend that. It's, you get in and you get out on the first date, right?
I always say a first date is 45 minutes.
Yes,
First date is 1 glass of wine.
yes,
Go.
yes.
A
I
And
should
a
have
first
honored that.
date.
I
Yeah.
should have honored that on my first date with my husband.
yes,
Would have been a lot better situation.
yes.
That's a whole 2-hour wine Wednesday in itself.
And what the beauty of like what's happening with the world, and I mean, we are connecting more via virtual means, Zoom, right? FaceTime. So even on the first date, you don't even have to go out and commute. I mean, I live in a city, so I'm always on the train or I'm driving. So now my new thing, and we're encouraging the single girls, your first date can be a FaceTime date. Okay?
Yeah.
You are just getting to know each other, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
Well, it saves you from all the
Yes.
other parts that go into
All
it. I do
the-
want
You only have to look good from here up, right?
Yes.
I'm wearing jogging pants.
Oh, yes. Well, I came, like, I was like, oh, I have to come and show out for the ladies, I have not worn a dress in a couple months. So
Right.
I wanted to dress up for you ladies. And you can do that. You can do that for your first date. All right. You don't have to go and grab a glass of wine and worry about who's paying the bill. Okay. Now the first date is we just getting to know each other. All right. To make sure that we hear. Right.
Yeah. I do want to share that in the chat,
Yes.
one of the viewers says, oh my goodness, that one would be hard for me. I get so shy for men to pay for me and I don't know why. Can you weigh in on that?
Right. Yeah. It sounds like that might be a limiting belief. Right. It might be something more that we would talk about in the single girls kit. We would talk one-on-one in our coaching sessions that we're offering to all the single girl kit participants.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a self-confidence thing here too.
See, that's what I'm feeling too. I
Yeah.
think it's more of an underlining
Yes.
issue going on. But a lot of things end up with upbringing too. If you came from someone who was a dominant figure in your life and they were always like, no, let me get it. Then sometimes unfortunately the apple doesn't fall far from the tree and we just kind of pick up those characteristics and traits. But I would say just sit back, be quiet, let him pay because there's great pleasure from him to do that for you.
Yes.
So if you're coming back, that's another thing, chiming in, ladies. Don't offer, but be very thankful. Really express your gratitude. Don't, yes, it is expected of him, but it doesn't mean that we don't follow through and say thank you. I know my personality. So this is my personality. If I were out on a first date and we wrap up, he pays, I know me. I would grab onto the top of his hand and I would look him in the eye and I would say thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you for a wonderful evening.
Yeah.
Even if I knew that I was not going to go out with him on a second date, I'm always going to be thankful. I'm always going to show up energetically with anabolic energy. Okay. Even if I know this isn't the person for me, I'm always going to show my appreciation for what he did. And I think that's really important, even if it wasn't a good experience, because it shows who you are.
Yep.
High integrity. Okay.
Yes.
High integrity.
Right.
So yeah. All right. We are on to, nope, we did 7.
8.
Number 8, watch how he treats the wait staff. This paints the picture of whether he has good social skills, interpersonal skills, respect for others, and if he comes from a background of good manners. If he complains about anything on the first date, imagine what he will be like on the 10th date. So if he complains about the food, red flag, sorry, there shouldn't be any complaining. If I were on a first date and I really wanted to make a great first impression, by the way, I have a YouTube video, how to make a great first impression. Also, how to recover from when we trip up and make mistakes. But even if my food was not ideal, I don't really believe myself on a first date I would send anything back, because I do agree that we are paying for a meal and it should be to our standards, but I also believe that it also could leave an impression that maybe I'm high maintenance. And if I truly am not high maintenance, I would never want to leave that impression. So I just believe that there are times in our life that we do have to kind of suck it up, and maybe that would be a time. But watching how and honestly, this is just another thing. I would be watching how he eats. If he's a sloppy eater, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not 20. When I was 20, it was much different. I'm almost 49 years old. And if he's just sloppy, where else are you sloppy in your life? I know that may sound harsh, but I am where I am. Okay, I am where I am. But how he treats the wait staff and how he comments on the food, negative energy just to me is a turnoff. It really is. So, all right, ladies, weigh in.
Go ahead.
Ooh, wow. I mean, I've experienced this a few times, not a lot, but we do cover, as I said, in week 6. We're all about the first 3 dates, right? We're talking about texting 101, right? Talking about your online profile on your dating apps. We're talking about the virtual dating, what we recommend about how the first date could look like post quarantine. Now, I don't know where you live. I know in New York City, we're not going inside of restaurants quite yet. Yeah. However, when we do open up, yes, I think that is a perfectly thing, to recognize it on a first or a second or third date. Pay attention. Continue to pay attention how he treats the people around him.
You know what? And this reminds me too, I have a client and she is trying to virtual date right now. She lives in Southern California. Mm-hmm. And she said that she talked to a guy on video for a while and they finally met and they had a first date on the beach, beautiful, Southern California. And she said, well, it was okay, but he's brought his dog. So he was really preoccupied with his dog. And I was sort of like, why would you bring your dog? Like that feels in the way. That feels like you weren't the priority to me. And so, yeah, exactly. And that it's just like how you're showing up and your first impression.
Right. It sounds like he was looking for an out. So he brought the dog, just in case, so he can blame it on the dog so that he could leave. I don't know. I mean, I might be stretching it, but I don't understand why you would bring a dog to a first date.
And there's this comment, how do you handle telling a guy that you do not want to go on another date, not comfortable ghosting? Agree, there's no reason to ghost. That's the energy we put out into the world. And you simply tell him. He doesn't need a book about why you don't like him, but we're not a match. I wish you all the best in life and in dating.
Yeah.
Bye.
Ghosting is a new word for me. So does that mean he just keeps following up? I know.
No, what's the opposite?
That means like he texts her, but she just never texts him back and totally like leaves and he has no idea what happened.
Okay, so here's Mike. Oh, I love this one. I want to chime in, but first I want to hear. Do you text back or don't you? I want to hear your guys' view.
I think it depends. Like after date 1, I don't think you owe him. However, I think if he texts you and says, do you want to go out again? Or like, how is that date? I think it's okay to say, I think not okay. I think you should say, I had a nice time. Thank you. However, like, I don't think that we're a match. I'm looking for something else. I wish you the best of luck in dating, period.
I'm brewing. The wheels are spinning. So again, if I were to go back to my 20-year-old self, and even knowing even my daughter's ages, because they're in their 20s, and they are very mature for their age, but I also believe that there's this little tendency at that age to make excuses, because I even see this sometimes with friends. A friend may reach out, you don't want to go, so you'll come up with something. I would have probably been that person. No more. High integrity, will always communicate in a kind way. Now, again, it is not the person's personality. We never want someone to think that there's something wrong with them. If you go out with a gentleman, well, and maybe he's not a gentleman, you go out with a guy and you just know there's so many red flags, there's not going to be a second date. You go home, let's even say he texts you that night and says, I had a great time. It's okay I think it's always nice to follow up and say, thank you for the evening. You don't even, if you didn't have a good time, don't say you had a good time, but you can still come back with something polite. Thank you for the evening. If he follows up the next day and says, I just want to share with you, I really enjoyed your company last night and I would love to take you out again. When can we schedule that for? If you truly know, this is opportunity level 5 energy. This is an opportunity for you to sever those ties. But you never, even if he was a wreck, you never want to crush someone. A woman of high integrity would never do that. You just come back and say, thank you so much for the offer. Thank you for last night. Unfortunately, I just don't feel that we are a good connection. I wish you the best. Whatever. You make it very nice, but you never say anything negative about him, because there's nothing wrong with him. Okay, ladies? There's nothing wrong with him. He just isn't a match for you, and that's okay, because he is a match for someone else. So it's never about the person. It's about, are they a match for you?
Right.
So I believe communicating back and severing this as fast as you can is always going to be the best choice. But I'm a communicator, and I'm sure in my 20s, I would have never done that. I would have came up with an excuse. 2 days later, he's going to message again. 2 days later. And so why do that? Because if you see yourself a value and worth, you wouldn't play this game. Ladies?
Oh,
No, I agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's read Kathy's comment. Regarding the dog, he could also just have used the dog as a prop to really emphasize that he's a dog person. Perhaps it is an insecurity problem and that he feels that he is not good enough to present himself as he is. He may just want to impress you, but yes, the dog does come in the way, especially on a first date.
Yeah.
And what I really feel there is that he's not good enough. I totally agree. And that's a red flag, isn't it? If he's not confident, that's a red flag.
Yeah. It depends. Again, we don't know. We just don't know, because everyone is in a different place.
Right.
So every time I work with a client and it has anything to do with a relationship, I don't have your answers.
Yeah.
You guys know this. I mean, this is how coaching works. We don't have your answers. You do, ladies.
Yes.
You have the answers.
Yes.
We help you find them. Okay. And that's what Ashley and Lena-Marie are going to facilitate in the Single Girls Kit, is helping you find who you are.
Right.
Identify what works for you at your stage. They are well aware that you're all showing up at different stages in your life. There's going to be people like me in the Single Girls Kit. Okay. everyone can benefit from this. Every single one of you can benefit because it's about what's going on in the core, how you see yourself, how you value yourself, and what you truly in your core knows is going to serve you. Okay. And always looking at that future. You have to look at the future. All right. Number 9. Where are we at? Oh, like this one too.
Yeah.
Number 9, study his focus. Yeah. If he is looking around at other people, women, etc., I don't know about you, but red flag. I'm sorry. Red freaking flag. Ashley, did you want to weigh in on this?
I literally wrote Ashley dash ex-boyfriend story.
This is great. This is great.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I dated someone. I went back to him more than once. We broke up, got back together, you know, that whole situation. And he did that all the time. And of course he cheated on me. And not that all men who look at women are going to cheat, but it was terrible. And it didn't make me feel good. And I already didn't have great confidence. And so, you know, it certainly became a thing. And then when I started dating better men for me, I noticed that like they hold my gaze the entire date. They're looking at me and it's so obvious. It's actually really interesting. I love number 9. It's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not
on a first, second, third, that to me is just no. Because I would not disrespect someone that way. If you're even if the date was going south and we are an hour in, there's no way. I am always going to hold myself to respecting that person the whole duration, even if I know it's went south, even if I know I'm not going to go out with that person again. You still show up, follow through, and just know that there's not going to be a second date. But yeah, that would be totally a red flag. I would almost have a hard time not saying something. Hello.
Oh yeah.
Here.
Do you not see this aging face?
Yeah, no, I'm very sassy.
See the course. If you work out, you may see the aging body. Really? Yeah, no.
Well,
red flag.
Tracy, we're up to number 10, and I actually find this like really interesting.
You do. So do I need to read it and then you share?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Number 10. Do not be open to going to establishments that are of low quality if you see yourself of higher quality than some of these establishments. High caliber women will not subject themselves to low caliber establishments. Quality men do not frequent low caliber environments, which I don't really know that's the truth, because I think we could place ourselves anywhere. And of course, we always have to be on guard for that. Trust your instinct, be intuitive. But if you are going to an establishment that is, and this is probably really dating myself, I'm trying to think of what we would call things meat markets, like dancing clubs that were very cheap and low class. We'd call them meat markets. I'm trying to think of what other names we had. There's definitely environments that are just, I don't know. I'm just going back even when my husband and I were first married and we would go out sometimes with other couples. We would go to some places that just even the way the girls were dressed, no. It's just no.
Right.
It's low quality. I don't know how better to put it. I don't know how to soften this. How do I soften this?
No,
help me.
Well, I found it interesting because like I mean, in college, right? You frequent like the dive bars, right? And
Yeah.
I would go there because, well, first it's my scene. It's you find yourself interacting with more like people your own age, like 21, 22. But I was also seeking like guys who like I was like making, I don't know, Fortune 500 people. Like, but I was going to these dive bars in the West Village and East Village in New York City, expecting to find like, I don't know, a millionaire. But that was also my mindset at that time.
We'll see, we grow.
Oh yes, now it's different. Now it's just I have like my go-to bars and my go-to places that will open up hopefully later in the summer. And I know I can meet someone of a higher quality, right? And it goes back to what we talk about in weeks 2 and 3. It's like energy attracts like energy. So we each attract and create our world, right? That's what we keep talking about and emphasizing. It's like we can create whatever world that we choose to. If we focus on the lack, right, and focus on like the failing relationships and the knots and the catabolic energy and the or negative energy, we attract that. And it's the same thing with restaurants and bars, right? If you want to attract more of like the higher quality people, you go to those places which will attract the higher quality people, not necessarily the places with the mechanical bowl in the middle of the bars, right?
Karaoke, you know it.
I mean, I like to do karaoke, but
No,
like
I'm not knocking anything, okay? I'm
yes,
just picturing the bowl with the karaoke.
right. Right. So that I found that interesting because that was something I had to learn in my mid 20s and luckily I was dating guys that introduced me to that world.
Yeah.
So that now I carry it now in my singlehood. So I know where like all the little hot spots are in Manhattan and in the Bronx, okay? We have some hot spots in the Bronx.
I went to some great places in Brooklyn when I was there.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Wow. I could be, love Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a quick question, and I will say that
Yes.
we do have one question in the Q&A.
Okay.
For you viewers, I do want to encourage you now, if you do have questions, please go to the Q&A box and we will try to tackle some of those. But I have a question because I'm not sure if I saw this in the outline or in just us talking. In any of the course or the different weeks, the little modules or whatever, do you guys talk about different opportunities or different places that people could go to meet a quality person?
Yes. Yes. I mean, we are having women from all over the world. I mean, everyone is different, but we give you the tools so that you can do your research. And with our bonus and irresistible offer, which we're so excited about, not only are you going to have the single girls kit in a group setting with the other ladies, you're going to have either Ashley or myself to do one-on-one coaching where you can talk about anything that you want to. We can talk about your Bumble profile. We can talk about, like you said, Tracy, we can talk more about where to go in your town, how to find that, right? Anything you like. We can talk about, because with relationships, it's like the wheel of life. Not only is our relationships affecting our homes, it's affecting like our work relationships, right? Our work, our health and fitness. We're talking about that as well. Whatever you like, you get either Ashley or myself for those 6 weeks privately. So, I mean, this is an amazing addition. It's 4 free coaching sessions with one of us to help you really hone in on creating the woman you want to be so that you can attract the man that you really desire. So if you have any questions about either one of the homework, so we have a lot of exercises that we're going to give you, a lot of fun exercises. If you need help with any of those exercises, those homeworks, you have us. You can call us up and we'll have a coaching session. Or you just want to talk, that too. You have our undivided attention. So we wanted to throw that in for all of the single girls.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the questions. I'm going to go them actually the newest to the oldest, only because I have one. Is the Single Girls Kit relevant for ladies in the beginning stages of dating? I actually would highly recommend it for the beginning stages of dating. I mean, this sets you up. Yes, yes,
Right.
yes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And then the next question, what if it's someone who changed their expressed preference? They are overwhelmed with other areas of their life, work, things like that, but they're attracted to you and expressed an interest in a long-term relationship. Then they changed it to say they're looking for something casual. I know what I want to say. Go ahead.
In my head, like, no. No, I just did a story about this. Anyone that tells you, let's just go with the flow, or we were, I thought we were friends after like 8 months of dating, right? 8 months of like sleeping together. Yeah. No. Honestly, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's something changed. Like, honestly, something changed for him. We can sit here all night. I mean, all night trying to analyze what is going through his head, but that's not what the Single Girls Kit is about. We're not going to analyze what's going on in his head for 2 hours. All right. We can only control what we do and how we respond.
You know, he has shown you who he is.
Yes.
Now you can decide if you want something casual, by all means. If you don't, it's time to move on.
Oh, yes.
Tracy, go.
And I'm sorry, but if you want something casual, I mean, no judgment, but I want to know what's going on in the core. And I think that's where the one-on-one coaching can really benefit, because there is something, if that's what you want, there really is. I don't want to miss this question only because I answered it, so it may not show available. But Katie says, I find myself justifying my date's actions. Am I too accommodating? I cannot say there are many reasons for his actions. I can't not say there are many reasons for his actions. What do you girls have to say to that?
That feels like two things to me. Lena-Marie, tell me if you agree.
Okay.
One, it feels like, do you really know what you want? And is that why you're going back and forth? Like, do you know what your must-haves are and what your red flags are? And two, it feels like some self-confidence stuff in there, right? And like some beliefs about what you deserve. Lena-Marie?
I 100% agree. And we would address this throughout. We would work together in the group setting and one-on-one about it, because I'm a firm believer in allow adults to be and do. You let them show you who they are. And that goes back. Right. Yes. I mean, adults can do whatever the heck that they want to do. Yeah. Okay. And it's all about how we respond. And that's where the self-confidence piece comes from. And the self-love. And we get in a little bit about that. In all the weeks. I mean, we introduce it, but week by week, but we are talking about it throughout the entire program.
Yeah. Love that. Love that. Kathy says, is there a fine line between choosing to have a dating account and choosing to just simply live your life and be assured of the guarantee that the right man will enter your life without you having to chase. I am 19 and not sure if I need to search yet.
Oh, I mean, what does live your life mean to you?
Yeah.
Because I know how I was at 19.
And look, I also want to say we don't chase,
Mm-mm.
right? That we don't chase, and that's sort of what we're honing in on in these 6 weeks. And I'm with Lena-Marie on what does living your life mean, and what does a high caliber woman who wants a high caliber man mean to you, and how do you embody that?
Yes. Yes.
And here, let me just chime in. I don't believe anyone has to chase. I really don't believe he's chasing you, because he may initiate something, which is how I prefer it. Again, I have a lot of old school. I believe that he initiates that date and asks you out. But if this relationship is something to manifest, no one's chasing anyone. So even the chasing is almost a red flag for me. Certainly, as the lady, you shouldn't be chasing anyone. But if he's pursuing you, you have to identify what's the motive. Is he pursuing me just because he wants to get what he wants, which may not be what I'm going to be willing to give? We have to understand what's the pursuit if he is chasing. But I do believe put the ball in his court initially.
Yes.
But if he is chasing or pursuing and you're not open to it, now I go back to the high caliber woman who is either going to nip it in the bud, or she's interested and is going to be open to having a second, third date.
Yes.
So, and that eliminates the chase, because when we were talking before, I think Ashley and I were talking, and I think I was asking, to me, if he follows up at the end of the night with a nice text, okay, thank him. Again, being a courteous and having good social skills and being respectful in that way, I think is always important. But if you know that you're not willing to go out again, if he messages you the next day, that's your opportunity to put closure to it. If he were to continue to pursue, you may have to be a little bit more aggressive, because now he is chasing. So if he has to chase, red flag. Because if you already communicated to him, I thank you for the evening, I don't really feel we're a good match, and he still comes back and pursues, he's chasing. And I have to say that just shows more all the reason why he's not the one for you, because you've already made it clear. If that makes sense.
Right. Yes. Yeah. It makes sense.
And Kathy, you're 19.
Yeah.
So one thing I do have to say is you have a lot of opportunities ahead of you to learn. So don't look back and think you're making mistakes. They're only opportunities to learn. How we learn is by the things that didn't serve us, because that's how what serves us shows up. So many people get hung up on what they call mistakes, or I wish I could go back. Never, no desire to go back. I wouldn't be who I am today. No wonder I think of myself as high caliber and high quality. No wonder Ashley and Lena-Marie think of themselves that way, because those were opportunities to form who we all are today. So at 19, open that opportunity window for yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. And with that, it's all about taking action.
Yeah.
And know that all experiences are opportunities for growth. And with that, let's talk more single girls kit. And Thank you, Tracy, for your top 10
Thank
tips.
you for
I wanna
welcoming
thank
me.
you.
I love this. I love this. I can't wait to hear more about the irresistible offers,
Yes.
the code, all of that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So the code is single 100, right? I'm right. Single 100 for $100 off.
And when does that expire?
48 hours.
Yeah, Friday night
So
and midnight.
Haley's probably putting, yep, she's got it in there. Perfect. Love it.
Yes. So $398. All right. So you're getting the 6 weeks group coaching format every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Begins next Wednesday, June 3rd. Oh my gosh, it's June already. You're getting that. And not only are you getting like the single girls kit, you're getting 4 free coaching sessions with either Ashley or myself to help you throughout this journey. Like I said, you can talk anything and everything that you want throughout these 6 weeks. We will get you there. All right. You can go deeper one-on-one privately.
Love it.
And then our offer number 2. Oh my gosh, Tracy, I'm so excited about this.
By the way, and I'm sneaking into this one. Okay. I love it. Style tips, I'm in.
I love it too. So let's just recap.
Yes.
The single girls kit starts next Wednesday, June 3rd. It runs for 6 weeks, every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Sign up tonight and you will receive $100 off if you use code SINGLE100. Okay. That only lasts for a couple more days. On top of the 4 free coaching sessions, if you purchase the course, you will get a 7th week. Okay. So after the 6 weeks of the Single Girls program, I'm jumping on for the 7th week, same time. And I am going to share style tips, how to show up for that first date. We're talking about how to dress. We're talking about hair, makeup, accessories, because too much can be too much. I have a whole outline. And not only that, how to present yourself, posture, presentation, eye contact, all of the things that you would show up for in, let's say, an interview. You're also going to implement some of those skills on a first date. It's very important. So cannot wait. And that is going to be complimentary for anyone who purchases the Single Girls Kit. So we have irresistible offer number 1, irresistible offer number 2 for anyone who signs up for the 6-week course. Love it. Just love it. Right. Any final words?
Yes, the session, each session is approximately 60 minutes to 90 minutes. So we're doing one part educational, and then the next part, it's open forum, right? Q&A, whatever is on your minds, whatever you have questions about that week's topic, we will address it in a group dynamic.
Yeah.
Love it.
Just honestly want to provide so much content, and we want women to feel amazing, as they should, and prepare for dating, and like they can meet the perfect man because they can.
Right.
Love it. Lillian asked, what about the bonus tip? And the bonus tip actually came from Ashley. So Ashley, do you remember when we were talking last week and you shared something with me and I was like, oh. And I was like, I'm on it. What was that bonus tip?
It was about not cancel this.
Yes!
This I take it to the grave. It is about you not cancel your plans for a man under no circumstances. And like,
oh girl,
we live our awesome lives. And if he really wants to see you, then he will. I remember when I first started dating Chris, like if he wanted me on a weekend, he knew to ask me out by Wednesday. He knew, because I'm a busy girl. And still to this day, every Sunday night we have dinner together, no questions asked. And we talk about our weeks. And he says, like, when am I going to have dinner with you this weekend? When am I going to see you? And Like if a man wants to see you, he will find a way. Like when women say they're too busy, that's not a thing. A man, if he wants to see you, he'll get in there.
Yeah. Love it.
Don't
Loved it. So inspired by that because it is true. Your time is precious.
Yeah.
Your time, I mean, I value time. There's nothing like knowing what your core values are. And I'm also going to share with you, your values are your button pushers.
Mhm.
Okay. If you're triggered by something or your button is pushed, it's because you value that. Again, I take some of the things that people get offended by as a positive. If someone challenges my time or is disrespectful of my time, that pushes my button. And sometimes I'll think, get over it, Tracy. And then I'll think, no, because I value my time. So yeah, if you don't plan this ahead, I'm not showing up if you reach out to me on Saturday morning. Okay.
Nope.
It's not going to happen. I have a full agenda.
Mhm.
So you're worthy, you're valuable, and you have to see yourself that way.
Yes.
Okay. The other thing I just want to chime in, tame that inner voice. Tame it. And
Yeah.
I know that Ashley and Lena-Marie are going to talk about this in the Single Girls Kit. We all have it. And that inner voice wants to protect you from getting uncomfortable.
Mhm.
It wants you to play small, stay safe, stay with me. Don't put yourself out there. Okay. Because if you put yourself out there, what if you are rejected? All right. Play small, stay safe. That's an inner voice. You'll always have it. It's what you do with it. Okay. It's not there to hurt you. It's there to protect you. But it can limit you from what you really want to do.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'll tell you one thing, you do some one-on-one coaching with these ladies, that gremlin that could be holding you back is going to be brought out real quick.
Oh yeah.
And that's the power of one-on-one. Group coaching, it's really hard to bring out that gremlin, but you do one-on-one coaching, we're going to bring that out and we're going to talk about it because again, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just there to try to protect you. But in that protection, you are playing small and you're staying safe. And you have to ask yourself, how is that serving me? It also taps into your assumptions, your limited beliefs, your interpretations, things based off the past. Oh, I've been out on 5 or 6 online dating apps and it's been a train wreck. I'm done. How could that be limiting you?
Yeah.
Only you can answer that, but that is something that will be tackled for sure in your one-on-one coaching with Ashley or Lena-Marie.
Right.
That's the power. That's why just taking advantage of those 4 free sessions, to me, when they shared that with me, I'm like, are you kidding me? That is incredible. Can I sign up?
This is what I'm saying. We create the rules and then we break them. And we were like, this is awesome. We really wanted to just offer something amazing for the single girls. So we have one more question.
Sure.
If we sign up but cannot attend one of the sessions, will there be a way to watch it afterwards? Great question. We are doing this all via Zoom. We would be recording it. You would be sent the homework and the exercise, and with your one-on-one coaching with either Ashley or myself, we would go over that. If you had any questions or concerns about that week that you missed, that's what you would talk about in your one-on-one coaching.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Any other questions that you have for us?
Love it. Love it. I don't see any further questions. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. This was a lot of fun. I'd love to hear in the comment section, maybe on YouTube. You can always rewatch this at another time on my YouTube channel. I also want to let you know that Haley did put some videos in the chat box. I actually have a dating tips video for the ladies, and I have a dating tips video for the fellas. I also have a dining etiquette tips video that you may want to look at. So resource those, but let us know what your thoughts are on doing a Wine Wednesday. We could certainly come back. We can mix things up. We are always open to hearing what you are looking for. Don't forget to take advantage of the offers for the Single Girls Kit with the $100 off in the 2 irresistible offers. And Ashley and Lena-Marie, any last minute notes?
I'm just so excited. I cannot wait to start next week.
Love
I can.
Yeah. So I've read the whole outline and we have been back and forth for weeks. And I'm like, I'm not single, but I just want to be a part because I love there's just so many powerful messages. And I know it's for single girls, but it's just, it is a program that so many people would benefit from, even if you're not single. So that's where I struggle. I'm like, I was even telling them, could we say single or just looking for tips? Because there's such a great message there. It's so powerful. Thank you so much. I love what you guys have put together. It's 2 just very, very confident women who have traveled the path, putting their minds together, putting their history together. You guys have mapped out such a fantastic program. Thank you so much. I think it's just such a wonderful piece for people to tap into.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
All
you.
right, everyone. Thank you from wherever you're watching from. We're about dry. I still have wine for tomorrow night, but we are signing off and we just want to say thank you for all that joined. Thank you, YouTube. Wonderful. I'm so glad that you guys were here to follow along from wherever you are. Have a good night.